What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mad Good Knicks Show, a special season preview edition. I'm Far, that's T, that's J, that's Steph, that's Pete. The whole gang is here. Follow us on YouTube and Instagram.
And
like,
Twitter.
comment, subscribe. Hit us up on Twitter. We've been tweeting. First and foremost, guys, let's get right into it. We don't want to make you guys wait any longer. We know you want to hear our thoughts. So the culture change has been the talk of the off season. I want to go down the line real quick, yes or no, and we'll get to like deeper answers. But like, has the culture changed? T?
100%.
Yes.
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 Yes, definitely.
It's unanimous. Let's talk about how the culture has changed. I'll start real quickly. I mean, what David Fizdale has said, what Perry and Mills have said through the offseason when they acquired our new head coach, that has been big, and they've backed up every single second of it. And multiple times I say to myself, yo, Hornacek would be completely opposite in this situation.
Yeah.
Who?
I don't remember this guy.
You know what's
New
really
franchise,
unfortunate? As a Knicks fan, you know, bringing in Fizdale, every move that he makes and everything that comes across, you know, a situation that comes across the team, I always reference back to how would Hornacek do, or how would Hornacek react to this, you know? Yeah. And God, was he awful. So
genuine and sincere. Right?
I had to pause. I was deeply hurt, you know? Yeah, Fizdale has absolutely changed the culture just from the whole mentality of how he looks at his players. You know, he looks at his players as like a family, a unit, more so than, I said this on Twitter as well, than just kids who dribble a basketball. And I think that's deeply important, and I stand by everything I said in the offseason. I think he's the right man for the job, and the culture has changed.
Hands down. I can't help but agree, and also add the fact that
I'm sorry, can we silence phones?
Silence the phones.
That's a fine. Did Fizdale say that's a fine?
That's a fine. That's a fine.
Pizza delivery, guys.
Oh, true.
Make a delivery, guys.
This is rad.
All
right, Jason.
But no, in all seriousness, accountability and sort of the responsibility he's bestowing upon people. I mean, talking about, Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson. Dude, taking Kevin Knox, he went to college 1 year, and then Mitchell Robinson did not. You're making me laugh. I know you're making me laugh. No, cut.
No, we're not cutting. He's going back to his point. What he meant to say was, he told Kevin Knox, he sent Kevin Knox a text. He sent Kevin Knox a text and told him, you know, the leadership, we need to see you set an example for Mitchell Robinson, who only went to high school, never went to college. Yep. We need to see you set an example for him and take leadership of him. Isn't that what you were trying to say, Jay?
Hands down. While Lance Thomas is just taking care of the rest of the squad.
All right, can we move on to someone who can speak proper English? Yeah.
Lay off the weed!
Get it off your chest, Steph.
Cue Stephen A.
All right.
Anyways,
he was on crack.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. Fizdale,
we weren't saying you were on crack, by the way, but continue your point.
God, I hope this mic can pick us up.
Keep looking at him though. Fizdale is a true players coach. I think he's doing a fantastic job releasing the tension amongst the players. You know, not like I felt this guy's like, give your giggles out, bro. Give your giggles out.
Yo, what is wrong with you guys?
We've missed you guys. We've had a lot
act
to
like
say.
you've been here before.
Oh my god.
Anyway, fucking when it was Hornacek and Phil Jackson, there was so much tension. There were so many people on different sides of the coin, and it never felt like we were on the same page. But right now, it feels like everything is in Fizdale's hands. The organization really trusts him, and he's really making it feel like a comfortable environment. And he's really making the players feel comfortable and kind of free-flowing, and he's bringing up these new players like Mitchell and Trier. They're feeling more comfortable, so I think that's very important for players coming up in a new organization, and I think he's doing a fantastic
transparency. Transparency
is a huge
Bro,
thing
it's a
for him.
preseason he's been on his feet almost a complete game. In every
Yeah.
single game.
Yeah.
And you saw
I haven't seen him sit down.
Active freaking coach.
Yeah.
A couple of us got a chance to go to the practice too, and Fizdale and his whole coaching staff, they're so hyped up for these guys when they do something right, man. It's
Really quick,
amazing
before
to
we get
see.
to Pete, I also want to just touch on the fact that the other day they asked Fizdale in an interview, a press conference after, do these preseason games mean anything?
Yeah.
He said, absolutely. I want to
like
win
that.
at everything. And that is so important. Once you establish a winning culture, he said it doesn't matter whether they're playing checkers, chess, jump rope, or whatever. He said double dutch, doesn't even matter. I want them to compete.
Ping pong.
There you go. I want them to compete. I think that's tremendous.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win bigly. We're gonna win so much that we culture.
What is pepperoni or pineapple, dude?
What were you saying earlier about something about silencing phones and fines or whatever? What was that?
Where's the usher?
Alright, here's what I want to say. What I want to say is there was sort of two critical moments as far as Knicks culture go for me. One was last year and one was this year. The one last year was when KP skipped out on his exit interview. I think your best player not having that kind of a relationship with a coach that way he feels inclined to skip an important part of the season was telling. And what was sort of the parallel to that this year for me was seeing Fizz go visit KP in Latvia.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, man.
And just kind of, you know, at first you might be inclined to think that is sort of gimmicky or whatever, but it's not. I've seen the consistency of Fizdale kind of treat all the players that way.
Yeah.
What my brother was saying about them being all on the same page, I'm getting that sense that we're all sort of a team now. And I think the Carmelo situation might have blinded us to that initially. You know, I sort of didn't realize that so many of the players were unhappy with Hornacek. I thought maybe like the Carmelo situation was just mucking it all up. But it became evident that was a deeper issue than that. So for me, the culture is definitely changing. I think the telltale sign of a changed culture is how we play defense.
Yes.
And not just in the beginning of the season, but throughout the entire course of the season.
It's the only reason why Baker.
From what I've seen at the open practice, from what I've seen at preseason, there's really been no lulls. And I don't think Fizdale is the type of coach that would tolerate it anyway. So from what I've seen so far, absolutely the culture has changed, but the consistency of everyone sort of being on the same page and the philosophy of basketball that is the underlying thing right now, like winning, taking things seriously, playing defense, earning.
Working hard and earning it.
Working hard, what you position, like minutes,
just sort of the fundamental staples of running and managing a team and kind of the spirit of basketball.
You kind of get this like high school vibe, not like in the sense of
exactly
type of talent, but you get this kind of like sense of camaraderie.
When we went to the open practice, you definitely felt like I was watching not a high school game talent-wise, but a high school game like these guys are friends. These guys, you know, like this
rooting each other on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
classic way of running
very inspiring for me as a fan. I gotta say.
To touch on that too, Pete, it's also very encouraging to see our star player KP, like you said, bonding with the team, and he's being active with the team. Although he can't necessarily participate in everything right now, we know KP, at least for the years that he's been here, he's been pretty much not a loner, but he's been off doing his own thing.
Right.
In every instance of the situation, whether it's rehabbing his knee, whether it's practicing, whether it's training in the off season. It's nice to see him now that he's feeling, you know, back in his groove. He's really embracing the culture change, Fizdale, the team. You see him out in practice. You see him at the practice,
Bro, he was all smiles at the practice. So
at
happy
the
to be
open
there.
practice,
He was so happy to be there.
the preseason games, he's there in a suit cheering on his team. And that's impressive to see from him.
I want to say one of the most important things here is the fact that we're trying to build a winning culture. There's a lot of talk in the off-season that we're doing and whatnot for what's upcoming. But people need to want to come here. And that's one of the things that Fizdale mentioned.
Yeah.
During the
and so far now it looks like kind of a fun place to play.
Yeah,
Kind of
definitely.
does.
And I'll wrap this up with this last point, and that's Fizdale going to mid-court when Ron Baker dove after a ball on the floor to assist for a layup. And he went and dapped up Ron Baker. That was awesome to see.
That really was.
I
Keep
think
playing like that.
He's a player's coach, man.
that's facts, man. You gotta love seeing that. All right, guys, make sure you drop your comments, hit that like and subscribe button, share the crap out of this video. We're gonna have a lot more content in the off season. Stay tuned.
I hope there's something under here. I hope so.